this session on learning. Obviously in the previous session we looked at the key fundamental processes of learning, how we learn, different theories, the stages. We're now going to look at it more of applied context. So a kind of key quote to start off with: if you're not willing to learn, then no one can help you. If you're determined to learn, then no one can stop you. So it's about creating an environment to enable our performers to have that motivation and that need and want and desire to learn. The key things we're going to focus on in this session is very much looking at those key learning styles, but also then the application of learning, and look at some of the key things that us as deliverers and coaches, when working with children, we can use to improve the way that we work. So first of all, learning styles. We learn more by looking for the answer to a question and not finding it than we do from actually finding the answer straight away itself. So that's kind of a key quote by Lloyd Alexander. So that process of gaining information, taken on board, is where learning occurs. We may, in a sporting context, experience lots of different things. It might not be the overall outcome we were hoping to achieve, but we'll learn from that journey. So looking at learning styles, as you can see, I've put some images there on screen for you. There's presenting and organising information. So this is, the way that we present and organise information may maybe inhibit or improve learning. The way, people process information, so that input, process, output, the storage of it, and there's the perceiving information. And all these things need to be taken on board when we're developing and delivering. So focusing on these key learning styles, as a coach, we always tend to default to our own preferred learning style, in which we prefer to receive information, or the way we receive and hope to learn. However, we need to ensure that we, as learners, are exposed to a variety of learning styles to ensure that we cater for all types of learners. So me, as a lecturer, within my sessions, in class, I would always try and ensure that I have some elements of, visual, auditory information, and then some kinesthetic tasks for people to do, hoping that we're trying to achieve and get all people engaged in our sessions. So when we're working in sport and we're working with children and youth, again, it's really important we make sure that our athletes and performers understand. I could stand in front of somebody and explain something and I understand it and talk at them for ages, but if they just don't get it, they may need a visual demonstration, they may need to have a go at it. So it's really important, that we ask questions and ensure people understand what we're talking about when we're doing a explanation of something. But also then supplementary in supporting that explanation, demonstrate, have a practice. That's what is really going to help people learn and develop. So focusing on a common and widely used model of learning is Fleming's 2001 Visual Auditory Kinesthetic, which is the VAK model. According to this model, most people possess dominant or preferred learning style. However, some people may have a mix or evenly balanced blend of these three learning styles. There are actually kind of the questionnaire and information you can actually complete on this. I have put an example of this approach up on Blackboard, so if you want to actually have a go at figuring out what type of learner you are, you can obviously complete this exercise. So obviously there's key learners, the visual learners, the auditory learners, and the kinesthetic learners. So I've also included a video example to help go along to explain what these different styles actually mean. So hopefully by covering these learning styles and having an understanding of them, these basic ones, it should hopefully help inform our practice in future. As I said, this is just one model. There's various other models, Honey and Mumford and so forth, which you can look at, which may help inform your practice and be worth researching and looking at into more detail, if this is an area that interests you. So focusing on supporting learning, there's kind of two areas, I guess, focusing on children and focusing on adults, and having an understanding of the differences in terms of the support that they need. So adult learners are rich in experience or attitude. They're very much goal-orientated, possibly with their own agendas. They are very self-aware. They're influenced by memories and prior learning. They have a diverse view about their learning. Therefore, adult learners differ greatly. Everyone can be slightly different. And there's a significant challenge to design learning experiences that will suit everybody. Okay, so it's a bit more difficult at this, more experienced stage. If we were looking at children as learners, obviously they are less experienced with little or prior learning. They learn quicker, so there's definitely that sponge period. So if you're working with your younger children in that sponge of sort of 6 to 12, then there's definitely going to have, take on board and be able to retain and develop their skills and learn more in that sponge period. They're willing to try new things and they have less fear. Repetition is key, so repeating movements and repeating things is going to help them learn. And they're definitely more receptive to direction. They're less influenced by external things that have happened to them due to that lack of experience, so are more open to suggestions. Can you think of any other ways child learners are different to adults? Have a little think for yourselves. To conclude this element on learning styles, I'd like you to complete a task on supporting learning. It's very much focused on adult and child. So what I would like you to do is identify and describe some differences in the way that adults and children learn. Obviously, I've given you some suggestions already. Can you add some more to this? So now focusing the second element of this task is about application. Explain the positive impact fun and enjoyment have on participant learning within coaching. Okay, so what does fun and enjoyment do to that learning environment? Then finally, identify methods a coach can use to ensure that all participants are involved and engaged throughout the coaching session. So these tasks are very much about application, things that you can take from and then use in your work. You'll find the task sheet available within this Blackboard folder for you to download and complete.